Really
Lovely.
nice.
Anyway, good to see you, Rosie.
Good to see you too. Good
Yeah,
to see
super
you too,
stuff.
as
So
always.
let's get right into action.
Yes,
One says, dear
please.
sisters, I desperately need your help. Started working in a new department recently, and I've known no peace since my transfer. My boss pushes me into his office, collects my phones, and forcibly has sex with me, sometimes without protection. I protested several times, but he doesn't seem to care. I'm a married woman, and I'm afraid to tell my husband. He lost his job last year. Losing this job certainly will put a strain on our finances. I'm afraid to report because I don't have any evidence. I'm miserable. I feel dirty. I wish I could just end it all by leaving this earth. I'm desperately seeking your advice. Please help.
Just I have so many questions, and I'm not even blaming the woman, or I'm not going to blame anybody, whatever. But my question is, if you're uncomfortable with something, you get out of the situation. Because if I begin to ask questions like, how did he even, like, he's raped you the first time he raped you. Fool me once, but twice, 3 times to keep a job. And right now you're even wishing you were not here on earth. I mean, this thing, it needs to stop. And there's no way you can record and take evidence or whatever. It's your word against his. If nobody believes you, walk. You have your sanity, you have your self-respect, and you have
Your
everything.
marriage and
You're
family.
married to protect. See, I don't know how you even feel right now. Like, it's so humiliating. I don't even know whether there's a word as dehumanizing.
It is
There
dehumanizing.
But, like, I can't begin to. You've been raped the first time and you have accepted it because it happens sometimes. I mean, there's a process. If someone is about to rape you, they overpower you. He has done that the first time. You don't put yourself in the same situation. You don't go into his office. You need to say something. You need to write something. You need to go to HR. You need to tell a friend. You need to tell a colleague. Like, please get out of the situation. Just resign. If you need to resign, if you think that, but I think you should speak up. You should say that, listen, I won't take this anymore. This is what you've done. I'm telling HR. I'm telling somebody. I'm telling the boss, because I'm sure your boss has a boss. Because, or put his name out there. Do something drastic, because you cannot continue in this situation. There is no way.
Maybe she's also thinking about her marriage.
Maybe
she doesn't want her husband to know what's going on.
Yeah, so whatever it is, find a way of leaving the circumstance, the job. Because even if it doesn't make sense, well, but definitely, see, your husband will get to know. The things that you keep on feeling like you cannot say to your husband, you cannot say in your marriage, you keep quiet. One day, something small will trigger the whole thing, and somebody will say something, you will say something. Listen, it's better to come clean, say what is happening. You are the victim. You are not the one who is perpetrating the act. Say something, because you can't continue like this. The next time we hear, God forbid, you may have lost your life. And then who wins in the whole situation? This man? Anyway.
Like Tina is saying, you need to say something. I mean, if not for yourself, for the next victim. Because this guy is not going to stop anytime soon. He's taking advantage of the fact that these days it's hard for people to get jobs. And I can understand where you're coming from, whereby your husband is probably home, he's so frustrated, he doesn't have a job, and you guys are looking to make it based on what you're bringing home. But you can't continue like this, really, you cannot. A lot of things are at stake. Your health is at stake. you could get pregnant by this man. What are you going to tell your husband after you get pregnant? You could contract all sorts of diseases and give it to your husband who is already frustrated. I know it's hard, but really it is not worth it. He's not worth your time. He needs to be jailed. Or if you don't speak up, my dear, he will continue to take advantage of you, continue to take advantage of young women who are coming. It's a hard life out there, but you need to really put yourself together. Quit, report him, do something. Don't sit and do nothing. I know it's hard, but please do something. And while you're working at doing something, please start taking out your CVs. Look for another job. Look for another alternative. Try and gather some money to be able to start something that you can do by yourself at home, like on your own. Start something. Bring some ideas. You can speak to your husband. Come up with ideas that will help you to be. I don't know how to put get into this whole entrepreneurial thing, share ideas, but we will not advise that you stay there and allow this man to keep treating you like this. Please do something and do it quickly, please. And don't kill yourself. I don't want you feeling that the next alternative is to kill yourself, because I can imagine where you are at right now. Find a counselor, somebody to speak to you, to help you. You need to talk to someone. This is not the kind of thing that you keep to yourself, because it will kill you. This man will kill you. Your own psyche will kill you. Find somebody that you can trust to talk to. If it's not family members, no. Find a neutral person, a counselor, a professional, somebody who can help you and take you through this process. But by all means, please leave the job. You will not die. If you leave the job, you will survive. Something else will come up, but please leave, please.
So sad.
Okay, Tina and Livy have said most of it, but I just wanted to touch on something else. When it comes to the way you carry yourself in the workplace as a lady is extremely important. Very important. The thing is, some of these predators who are in the workplace, the question is that out of 10 women who are employed, they don't take it out on all the 10. They take it out on some of them. One, they need to sense that form of desperation from you, like you are desperate for the job. When you have that desperation around you, desperate for the job, they know that they can dish anything out to you and you take it because you need to maintain the job. Yeah. Number two, when you go around bootlicking, trying to get ahead of your peers by getting too close to your bosses. No, there are people who just, as soon as they enter the organization, they target the main men, the decision makers. They want to get so close. They want to do all kinds of favors that are not in your KPI, like giving them breakfast in the morning, buying them all kinds of little to show so they can get favor. Some of these things that ladies do in the workplace, I'm not saying that you should be hard and and everything, but you see there's a fear ejuma where when you are home you submit to your husbands or your parents or you do. Take those things out of the workplace. Right. Workplace is for workplace. Be as professional as you can get. Now, when you come off as very professional, where all you talk about is your work, how to do. Of course, you should be able to mingle with your colleagues and everything, but you don't do the excessives. The thing is that you're not an easy target. Right. Number two, stop spending unreasonable hours with colleagues or bosses of opposite sex outside of normal working hours. Right. So why do you have to stay in the office 8, 9, 10, 11? Only you and your boss. You are working on something, deadline. Nobody else is around. Sometimes, even though the boss has not asked you for any favors or the boss not do anything, it's only fair that you get some other colleagues to, look, even a friend of yours in the office, oh, Charlie, Olivia, so I'm going to be working late, me and so. Going home, I don't want to be alone. So could you hang around, let's all just hang around, help me do this. Just so that there's always a third eye around you. Right. Because we are human beings. How our minds think, our bodies think, sometimes you can't control it. And maybe in the essence, because you get so comfortable with each other because the person is your boss, you might make some statement or he will make a statement, you laugh at the statement, and instead of him thinking that, oh, you are just being polite, he thinks it as a green light to do whatever he or she wants to do, because they are also women bosses who also prey on, male, subordinates. So all I'm trying to say is that, look, ladies, as much as possible, because we are easy targets, carry yourself properly and professionally in the workplace. That's number one. Number two, we fear the unknown too much. This job that you think that is what is bringing you money for the house, you'll be surprised that if you let go of this job, most likely, one, you probably find either a better job or your entrepreneurial skills that you probably have innately, which you didn't even know you had, will kick in because of the the situation, because things are hard. You guys need to do something. It might kick in from somewhere, and the next thing you know, in the next 2-3 years, you'd ask yourself, so if I could do this, how come I was working for all these years?
Right.
I could have done A, I could have done B, I could have done C. So the thing is that, look, and things that affect your mindset, your ability to be comfortable, your conscience, is so terrible. Do you know how it feels like you wake up every morning, your husband says, oh, wifey, you're going to work, I love you, kisses you. The feeling of guilt, the feeling of debt. When your husband wants to sleep with you, you cannot even bring yourself to, it's too much for you to carry as a human being. When you keep on going like that, the tendencies of committing suicide is just going to go higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is to get out of that situation, no matter how much you're earning from that situation. Now, you say he takes your phones and everything. Now, if there's a particular room where he always forces you, you don't need to wait till he's taking your phone to say that there's no way to get evidence. Get somebody, a trusted person, a trusted, look,
come to the door.
You can even go to Facebook and just scout for people who have these gadgets, filmmakers, and I say, like, you know what, get a random filmmaker that I have a situation in the office. I need help with this. I'm sure you'll find somebody who would give you some equipment that you can leave there for 24 hours just to get him to attempt to do something. And for crying out loud, you can't scream, you can't shout, you can't run.
It's not even like touching and leaving.
You can't
it's
in the office.
Yeah, and it's in the office. Look, you can get somebody to give you some gadgets that you put somewhere that can even be remotely controlled. You can even do it such that when the thing is happening, before they take off the thing, maybe there's something you press, give signal to somebody will call the HR of the company, live stream it. Live stream it to HR for HR to see and even walk in the act. Look, there are so many things you could do to trap this person. But the thing is that you're not thinking out of the box. You are afraid. You are desperate for the job. You think that this is the only thing that can feed you and your family because your husband is out of job. And what you are doing is that you are trading in your conscience. You are trading in your self-respect. You are trading in your chastity, your integrity, your everything, just for the coins that the job is going to pay you. And that is why you feel like exiting this planet. So the thing is that, look, I feel it's a psychological issue. She needs a counselor. She needs a counselor to break down what is, what could be,
and what is not.
And then once she gets that ordered, then she can now think of bringing her husband into the picture, but it's going to break the husband in so many ways. And but the thing is that by all means, don't let this happen again. Don't let it happen again. Look, because before he gets you in the office alone, if you have to close early. If you have to defy him, get a best friend in the office where, as soon as that person's leaving, sorry, this issue is just, as soon as that person is leaving, you're also leaving with the person. Never find yourself alone with this boss of yours.
Don't create that.
Don't create that.
Yeah.
Just
leave the job. Just leave the job. And like Olivia said, look, just get your CVs, draw them all over.
Start looking.
In this day and age, people even put them online. And people call people they don't even know and then just offer them jobs just out of the box. Exactly. They poach them. So please, leave that environment. Keep your sanity in check. Just leave. But as for the evidence, dear, gathering it is not difficult. get any of these videographers, any of these people. I'm sure if she comes to City Cry, you can get somebody who can provide her a gadget that she can place in the office that can remotely record without the guy's knowledge as evidence.
Yeah,
Exactly. Even you have some. You can give out. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to seek help. A lot of ways to get that evidence. The evidence is not only your phone. Just some say it's enough. No, get the evidence without him knowing that you are taking the evidence.
That means it will happen again. Just leave.
Just leave.
Question.
But
should she tell her husband, involve her husband?
I think so.
Yeah.
you see, the thing is
I
that
think
there are
so.
certain issues. It's easier hearing it from the horse's own mouth than being presented. Look, the husband is out of job. He's probably looking for a job.
Yeah.
He's probably going to sit with somebody who knows this boss. This boss will be gloating about some woman way did the office way challenge the way they fired a thing. The woman said, then there's a common friend who probably mentioned the woman's name. Something will happen, and something will pop up, and the man will find out, sitting amongst other guys, to find out something like this, and he has no idea. He's going to come home and not even give you the opportunity to give your side of the story.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's important that when things are happening of this nature, you see, disclose it, precon, then you're free. Because already it's too heavy for your brain to carry. Then you're free. Or maybe you can tell your husband, like, babes, I know that you're not working, but I have to leave this job. Why? This is what happened. I can't afford for it to happen again. He'll get angry. Why don't you report it? And this guy, Well, I couldn't get evidence. But I know how this thing plays out. I don't want my name in the mud. I don't want your name in the mud. But I can't afford for this to happen again. So because of this, that's why I'm leaving the job.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I love you too much to allow someone to be taking advantage of me in the office just because of A, B, C, D, E. He'll get angry because he's settling in now, but he'll by all means forgive you. And in future, he'll respect you because you took yourself out of the situation because you respected your marriage. But if you continue to be there, and then he finds out, especially when you are still there, then his thing is going to be like, oh, so you were enjoying it.
Yes.
And that is why you continue to work there.
Exactly.
Why didn't you tell me
Yeah.
I'm your husband? Why couldn't you come to me?
Yeah.
Now, those are the questions that you need to answer later. Now, you don't want it to get there. So leave. And it's an opportunity for you to tell your husband, this is why I'm leaving.
Comments. Louisa says, what do you mean? Madame, whatever happens to you is 80% your fault. The removing of your underwear until the time of penetration, and you couldn't save yourself. You enjoy it, but feel dirty at the same time. Don't quit the job and be there till you get AIDS.
That's
Why?
an unfortunate comment.
Very.
We can't judge her outright like that. Felix says, is this a problem? I feel you're enjoying it and you're just holding grief for your husband. Are you the only staff in that office if you want to collect evidence? Your boss also has people who reports to whom you can confide in if you think you might lose your job or be victimized. Senna says, in as much as I feel sad and grief, and grief by your experience, I think you had a thing for your boss and he just had to make an attempt to easily get you to sleep with him. You probably have in the past been having sensual conversations with him, so he played on that. Sandra says, I bet you the first one may be forced, but the subsequent ones cannot be. Madame, come clean. People don't believe her. Bright says, quit the job, report to the police, get a feminist pro bono lawyer to sue your boss and the company. Don't lose your dignity to money. Hilda says, 3 days fasting and prayers may make a way out for you. Better still, tell your husband, but don't include the sex part. 3 days fasting and prayers will work.
How would it work?
Forget it.
Lucy. Sorry. Lucy says, I think if you need evidence against your boss, you can maneuver and get it. Unless you're treating him with kids' gloves or encouraging him to continue with their office sexcapades. Yeah, but it seems like a lot of people don't doubt her.
You see,
we established that, like, the first time, you didn't see it coming.
But the second and the third...
But you see, that's what I'm saying, that is the mind.
Yeah.
You see, when you meet, sometimes when you see people in situations like that, if you who know what you're about, you know what you are worth, you know your value, you know what you can do, what you can't do, you won't stand for some of these things to happen the first time, much less the second or third time. But there are some people who feel lucky to even have the opportunity to be able to earn some money to take care of their family. And you see, some people are just in a very defeatist mindset, and you can even go back to the girl's upbringing. She was probably brought up in a way where she was shut down at everything she did. She never had an opinion. She never had a say in anything. You could probably go back into her upbringing and realize that she's just one of those people who just can't break out of a certain shell. That's why I'm saying that this may be more psychological than everybody thinks it is. Because ideally, every normal person, if it happens once, twice, I don't even have to report. My mouth, like the sheer fact that you are trying to rip me in the office, what my mouth would do to you, I don't think you'd ever think of doing it again.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
You understand? But there are also some people who have that boss mentality. They can never say anything against their boss. They can never go contrary to anything their boss is saying. Everything, boss is. There are people who are like that. And these bosses play on the ignorance and the timidity of some of these people.
And they know exactly who to
And they know
on.
exactly who to play on. That's what I'm saying, that once you are working in the environment, carry yourself well so that you don't become an easy target.